since I been on a live. I have been posting, but I have not been on my lives. It's just, whew, life has been lifing. But I am so grateful that I am on my live today. Now I did so today I want to talk about stuff that's a little more in depth about HIV. A lot of this stuff people really don't talk about. And like I said, um, I have had HIV for 25 years. Um, and it's nobody but the grace of God that has been keeping me. I'm going to say it every time you see me posting my videos, being on my live, because this is one person who is grateful for her life and grateful for what God has done for me. So I can't thank him enough. Now, one thing I do want to talk about because um, a lot of people don't talk about HIV a lot. A lot of people don't talk about HIV prep a lot. So I do want to start talking about that today because it is definitely needed. It's so many people. Like I live in Michigan. I said in Michigan, it is over 11,000 people in Michigan who is positive, who has HIV. Not even the ones who is walking around with it and has not been tested. So because I've been living with HIV for 25 years, God has blessed me to live with this for 25 years. And no, um, it was not something that I ever wanted from my life. But because I trusted somebody with my life, I trusted a man that I felt was my fairy tale. And I know there have been people saying, oh, you're dumb, you should have been tested, this and that. Let's be real and let's be honest. There are people who has gotten into relationships, um, and because you know this person, that you did not use protection when you slept with this person. So we're just being real and we're just being honest. Remove the bunny. I don't see a bunny. But but yeah, I'm just being real and honest because a lot of times when we get into relationships, you don't say, I'm going to get this person tested. A lot of people don't say that. So when people were saying that about me, um, oh, you're dumb, you should have been tested, this and that. I'm just being real and honest. When I got with Mobile Down, can you grab your camera for Lamar Jackson edit? Hi, it says, can you grab your camera? Let me see. Mobile Down. I mean, I'm trying. I don't see anything. I don't see anything. You said it looks like a bunny, but you just very nice remove the bunny. Oh, okay. But like I was saying, when people, there are so many people who has gotten into relationships, and when you um get into this relationship with someone, you give them your trust, you give them your heart, right? And you know that this person is for you. 9 times out of 10, most of those people did not say, okay, let's go get tested. They immediately, not saying immediately, but they eventually got into a sexual relationship with this person, with the person that they were with. So that's what happened to me. I gave my heart to a man that um, I knew that was my soulmate, knew that I could trust, and I ended up giving my heart to him, not knowing that he had HIV. Never once told me, never had no signs, no symptoms, no anything. And still never told me that, hi, Mr. how are you? Never once told me that he was positive. I didn't find out I was positive until I got pregnant. And then I found out when I finally found out I was 3 months pregnant when I found out I had HIV. And by the grace of God, my daughter saved my life because the man that I was with, he never once told me that he was positive. He never once told me that, any of that. I would have never known, even though we were, uh, oh, hi, you're from Iran. Thank you for joining. Never once told me that he had HIV. So I would have never known, even if we would have stayed in this relationship, if I would have never gotten pregnant, I would have never known because he never once told me. Now my daughter is 24 years old, and I am truly blessed that my daughter is HIV negative. She's never had HIV, and it's because of the medications that they give us when we're pregnant. But one thing I wanted to touch base on today was, HIV PrEP, because it's out here for so many people, to get people who are in a relationship who, I'm from Michigan. So many people who are in a relationship who, and they know that their partner is is cheating. It's good for them to be on PrEP, HIV PrEP. For people who has multiple partners, it's good for them to be on PrEP. Um, for people who, um, has an HIV positive partner and they're negative, it's good for them to be on PrEP. And I only say that because there are people who are in a relationship who, with someone who has HIV but they're negative, and now they say, there's U equals U. Yes, I truly believe there is U equals U, means untransmittable, undetectable, untransmittable, which means that if you're undetectable, you cannot transmit HIV to someone. But I always say, let's be honest, because um, there could be a time when your partner decides not to take their medication or miss so much of their medication to where they're not undetectable anymore, and you can still contract it. So I always still say, even though it's U equals U out here, still make sure that you are safe, because I don't want anybody living or walking in the shoes that I'm in, which is contracting HIV, because from someone that, um, I thought that I can trust. I wouldn't want. Let me get myself out of the sun. Um, yeah, so I would not want that to happen to anyone, because life is so short. Why do you want to put yourself or subject yourself, you know, to that, when there's things out here that can help? Now, back when I had HIV, back when I was diagnosed back in 2000, they didn't have PrEP, they didn't have any of that. Um, they didn't have any. Oh, I think that's better. That sun was getting to me, but they didn't have any of that. So that's why I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to touch base on it, um, and just bring awareness to HIV, even breaking the stigma, because there's still so much stigma out here about HIV, and I just want to break the stigma. You can't contract HIV by hugging someone, by sitting next to someone, by drinking behind someone, by eating behind someone, which I would never do. I don't think eating and drinking behind someone is good, but everybody to each his own. That's just me. I've always been like that. Even before I was positive, I was always like that. But you can't contract HIV from that. You can't contract HIV from kissing someone in the mouth. Um, you can't catch HIV by sitting behind a toilet on someone. So that's why I say breaking the stigma. The only way you can catch HIV is from needles, from sex, from breastfeeding a child, um, from breast milk, um, getting tattoos using the same needles from someone who has tattoos. Like, so those are the ways that you can contract it. But the other ways that I just talked about, you cannot contract HIV. And that's why I keep saying that I am really trying to break the stigma. I don't know much English, but you speak it very well and you are very beautiful. Oh, thank you. But yeah, so God has been so good to me. And like I said, I'm going to continue to tell my testimony. I'm going to continue to tell my story because this is what God put in me. This is what God has instilled in me. I'm, even though I've been HIV positive for 25 years, it's still so much for me to learn. And as I learn, I'm definitely going to teach my community because that's what it's about. It's about bringing awareness to people so that they won't um, fall in the same um, follow the same steps that I fell in. But if I could do it all over again, which this one piece of hair just keeps sticking up, but if I could do it all over again, um, I don't know, it would be hard because I cannot see myself without my daughter. When I tell you she is a blessing to me, she has brought so much joy to my life. She saved my life. Um, if I could still have the same daughter and do it all over again, I definitely would. Um, but God knows everything that we're going to do before we do it. He already knew. He already knew how my life was going to be. He knew that I was going to end up sleeping with this guy that I truly fell in love with, that had my heart, that I knew that I was safe with, but ended up contracting this HIV from him. Like, he knew that this was going to happen. Hello, Deborah. How are you? He knew that this was going to happen. So, but I thank God for his mercy and his favor and his grace over my life because during this whole 25 years, after everything that I've been through, he still see fit for me to be here. God is just so amazing because in 2020, and I always tell my testimony, in 2020 I almost lost my life. I had COVID, let alone COVID, HIV, double pneumonia, asthma, and COPD. That right there could have taken me out, but God saw fit for me to still be here. Like, I cannot express how grateful I am and how blessed I am for him to still see me here 25 years later. And then he tell me it's time for me to speak out about it. It's time for me to tell my testimony so I can help other people. If anybody knows me, I've always been shy. I've always been withdrawn. I've never been the type of person to ever want to be noticed. And when he told me to do it, I'm like, I told him, like, I can't. Is the person who gave it to you still alive, or did? No, he's still alive. Um, yep, he's still alive. And and I tell my full testimony on my YouTube page. If you want to follow me and just follow my journey, my YouTube page. But I tell my full testimony on there. But like, God has been so good to me. And when he told, like I said, when he told me that it's time for you to tell your testimony, I was so afraid because, like I said, I was always shy, never wanted to speak up, never wanted to be noticed. And I didn't think that I had a voice. I literally didn't. And all this time, like he God is the one that got me out of my comfort zone from speaking out. And now I have told my whole testimony to the world, which I am so grateful to God that he allowed me to do it, that he allowed me to come out of my comfort zone. For anybody who has ever been shy or felt like you do not have a voice, or felt like you did not have a voice, you have a voice. You can speak about anything that God has put in you to speak. You are a blessing and helping a lot of people. Thank you. You definitely do. Don't hold yourself bonded in a bondage because of something you feel that you are not capable of. All of us are capable of speaking. All of us are capable of telling our testimony. I'm not the only one that has a testimony. It's so many other people out here who tells their testimony and tell about their life stories, right? It's a lot of people that's out here. And when I started doing this in 20, I believe it was like 2022, maybe. So it was like 3 years ago. He told me to do it. I did it. I started on YouTube, and I was getting backlash. People were saying so many negative things left and right. And I'm like, God, I can't do it anymore. I stopped doing it. I stopped doing my videos because I couldn't handle it at the time. But God built me up to be at this point. So I had to learn how to put the full armor of God on my life in order to do this. So now when people say negative comments about me having HIV and about, me being dumb and being stupid and this and that, I know who I am. I know that I am a child of God. All of us have made mistakes in this world. Nobody on this earth is perfect. There are so many people that has made mistakes. There are so many people who have slept with people unprotectedly, but guess what? By the grace of God, you slept with a person who didn't have HIV. It was only by the grace of God that that happened to you. So all of us, that's why I'm talking about PrEP, because it is so important. Um, if I knew the knowledge that I know now, I would have done things differently back then. I would have definitely done things differently. I have two daughters, um, one that's 28 and one that's 24. My 24-year-old is the one that saved my life. I wouldn't have found out that I had HIV if I wasn't pregnant with her, because her father didn't tell me. Uh-oh. Her father didn't tell me that he had HIV. And a lot of people are coming forth with their HIV stories. Hopefully, um, I'll stop the stigma. Yes, definitely. We need to stop it, because it is so many people who are telling their HIV stories now. And like I said, God told me to do this 3 years ago. When I did it, I was getting so much backlash. It was crazy. I couldn't handle it. I would go and tell my daughter. I would show her the messages of what people would say. I would cry. And I didn't have the backbone. And I truly still did not love myself enough. Now you cannot tell me that I'm not beautiful. You can't tell me that I am not loved, because God has instilled it within me. I know that I'm beautiful. I know that I'm loved. I truly love myself inside and out. There's nothing that nobody can tell me negatively about me that I will believe. But I had to get to that point to get here. Like I said, I tried to do it before, and it didn't work. It literally did not work. But yeah, that's why I wanted to come on today to really talk about my story and to talk about PrEP, because it will save people lives if they would just talk to their primary care doctors. I know there are some people who are ashamed or afraid to bring the conversation up to their doctors, but you have to ask yourself, do I want to save my life, or do I want to be another statistic? And that's the conversation today. Do you want to save your life, or do you want to be another statistic? If somebody would have told me that 25 years ago, if there was social media like this 25 years ago, and somebody was talking like this, I would have definitely jumped to um, jumped to it and had this conversation with my doctor. One thing about me is I'm not afraid to talk to my doctors about anything anymore. Like I said, I was very shy, I was very withdrawn, and I did not have it in me to do it. But breaking this stigma, and if you can't talk to your doctor about getting on prep, if you don't have a doctor that you can confide in, or if a doctor, judge you about it or says anything negative about it, then you definitely have to find a provider that's definitely going to listen to you, so that you can get on prep. Your primary care doctor can prescribe it. Infectious disease doctors can prescribe it. So definitely talk to your doctors about it to make sure that you're doing the right thing for you. Now, this is not for the sanctified people who claim that they're doing everything right, and they know to get their partners tested. This is not for you. This is for the people who, um, and I'm saying that because I was one of those people. I was definitely, listen, I was definitely brought up in church. I stayed in church. When I tell you, my grandmother raised me, so I stayed in church. But when I started following my friends and not saving myself for marriage like I had said that I was going to do, um, that's when I had my first daughter out of wedlock. Um, Her father didn't stay. Then I got pregnant with my second daughter, and unfortunately, I contracted HIV from her father. But if I would have did everything that I said that I was going to do, I probably wouldn't have been at this point where I'm on social media trying to save lives and telling my HIV story. But this is where I'm at now, and I want to help as many people as I can. And I'm going to continue to do it. I'm going to continue to tell my testimony. I'm going to continue to do it until the day that God called me home, and talk about prep until the day God called me home, because I want to help someone. I don't care if it's one person a day that someone listens to my story and decide, okay, I'm going to talk to my doctor about this, or okay, I'm going to make sure that I'm doing the right thing so I don't fall into being a statistic. That's what I don't want for people. Not at all. It's definitely a blessing for me to get to this point where I can talk about it and not cry about it. When I was doing my video before, I remember I was in I was telling my story, and I was just boo-hooing, crying, um, and it's still emotional. And one thing I can say, hello, how are you? Life lessons 101. But one thing I can say, it's still emotional talking about contracting HIV, because it's something that I never thought would happen to me. Um, you can get your partner tested, they can show you negative results. Sometimes people do a lot of things behind your back and live secret life. You are absolutely right. Oh, and I do, dang, I'm gonna have to show you guys on my next live. So I do have an at-home HIV kit that I wanted to show you and show you how it looked. I meant to bring it on my live this time so I can show you. You can get the kits from the pharmacy. Um, you can test each other before you decide to become sexually active. With the person that you're just getting involved with, or even somebody that you, like I said, somebody that you've been with that you know that's cheating or having multiple partners, you can, um, you both can test yourselves at home. Now, if your partner say that they don't want to get tested, you don't trust them, I don't know, that's another conversation that you're going to have with your partner. I can't say that. That's all I'm going to say about that, because I'm not going to get into, um, what should happen in someone's home, because that's between you and your partner. But that's one thing I will say, that they do have the test, at pharmacies. They also have them on Amazon. You can order them on Amazon. But on my next live that I'm going to do, I'm definitely going to bring it on my next live, to show you how the kit look, so that, um, you can see how it looked. I actually have two, so I'm going to take a test. That's what I wanted to do today, and I did not do it. So, um, I'm going to take a test, and I'm going to show you, because I am HIV positive. I'm going to show you that the test is accurate, and how it will show if you're positive or negative. I know some people say, some tests are not accurate, things like that. But you can be 100% faithful and think he or she is faithful. A lot of people live secret. How can you overcome that? So, and one thing I'm going to say, I'm not a counselor, I'm not a doctor. I can only tell you by my life experience. So everything that I'm telling you is by the things that I've experienced. So with you being 100% faithful, and you think that your partner is not 100% faithful and does things behind your back, there's a conversation that you should have with your partner. And like I said, if it means that you have to, give me 1 second, let me let my dog in. Okay. She didn't want to sit on the balcony too long. But, um, if it feels, I mean, if it's something of a sort that you and your partner probably need counseling, if you're afraid to really bring it up to your partner, um, I would suggest counseling, but try to talk to your partner first, because you want to make sure that you are on the same page with any relationship. You want to make sure that honesty is the first key of you getting into a relationship. Well, in my relationship right now, I am still with, so I'm still with my daughter's father. We ended up getting married. Um, so I've never been in another relationship. Oh, she see another dog. I've never been in another relationship. Right now, I am. Oh, it's been a journey. Right now, because of where I'm at right now in life, I feel that God had told, okay, so I'm going to tell you this. God had told me to leave him a while ago, and I still have not. And I've just been getting convicted left and right. So I know that I have to leave him, and it's because of a lot of things that, do you think y'all will possibly get back together? Um, no. I I know that God has someone for me. God God has placed someone for everybody, on this earth. I know that the woman that I am, I know God has the right man for me. I know that he does. I truly believe it. I have faith and I trust, and um I live by his word. So I know that he definitely has the right man for me. Um and I just have to be patient and wait on that. Um When I get into another relationship, I would definitely, because of the woman that I am, I would definitely bring it up with anybody that I would talk to. Not even have it, and that's the thing. I have never been the type of woman to have multiple relationships. Never, 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 never. Um, and I ended up getting caught up. Like I said, trusting my daughter's father. Are you still married to your daughter? Yep, I'm still married. Working on getting a divorce, but yep, we're still married. We're still legally married. Um, but I've never been the type of person to um, have multiple partners. I've never been the type of person to sleep around. Um, and here I am, HIV positive, because I gave my heart to a man that I thought I could trust. And I ended up marrying him because I felt like if I married him, then I would keep him from giving other women HIV. You are a testimony. Keep pushing. Thank you so much. I am each. I said until the day God called me home, I'm going to continue to tell my testimony and continue to try to help as many people as I can with my story. Thank you so much, T. Devondra. Thank you so much. But God, I'm telling you, it's nobody but God that is allowing me to do this. It's nobody but Him. I give Him all the honor, the praise. It's all Him. It's not me at all. Um, keep pushing and keep praying. God got you. Yes, definitely. He does. Each and every day, He wakes me up every day. Each and every day, He wakes me up in my right mind. You have a good night as well. In my right mind, and I am truly blessed to be in this position, healthy. And right now, I'm working on getting my blood pressure down. I'm working on losing weight, and I have been doing so good with changing my diet, because you're not, you know, yes, your physical health is good. You have to have everything in order to live a productive life. Your physical health, your emotional health, your physical health, emotional health, spiritual health, um, all of that needs to be intact. Physical, emotional, spiritual, and there's another one that I want to mention. Physical, emotional, physical, spiritual. Yeah, but yeah, you want to just make sure you have all of those in order to live a productive life, because if you don't, you're going to lose one battle on something. I know, it takes time. Sometimes it doesn't take overnight for you to overcome some things. When I tell you I had severe depression, I tried to unlive myself so many times. This was back in 2010, 2011. I was in a mental hospital over and over and over again. My daughters were young, they were little. It was so much that I was going through that I could not mentally keep up. And I thank God that I did not. Every time I tried to, God pulled me through. Every time that I tried, over and over and over again. And so I thank God that I'm at this point, because it didn't take overnight for me to get there. It didn't take overnight for me to change it. Um, it took years for me to get out of depression. And I told myself I would never let anybody else get me to that dark place. When I tell you it was, I would never let anybody else get me to that dark place. It was absolutely horrible. Um, not really been able to be with my kids when they were young like I really wanted to, because I was dealing with so much mentally. But I'm so glad that I'm strong now, and that's why I'm always, posting videos and telling my story, and on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok. I'm constantly telling my story, because everybody is not on all platforms. Um, so God told me it was time for me to tell my testimony about everything. And one thing I'm not afraid to do now is to um, tell my story because it's not for me to keep. Like God told me, your story is not for you to keep. Your story is to help someone else. So that's what I'm doing. Every day, I'm posting videos, helping someone. If it's not about me telling about my story, it's about my life because I'm blessed to live it. 25 years having HIV, I'm blessed to be here. I'm blessed to live it. I'm blessed to tell my story. That you are being so transparent so you can reach others. Yeah, thank you so much, Butterfly Family Vlogs and Lifestyle. Thank you so much. Um, yeah, but Butterfly Flam, well, I can't talk. I have not been able to talk all day. Even at work today, my words was twisting. 25 years in Yucca made. Thank you so much. Like I said, it's nobody but the grace of God. Um, it was year before last and last year before last and last year, my blood pressure was so high where I had 3 migraine strokes. So um, they're migraines that mimic strokes. The right or left side of my body would go completely numb. My face would droop on either side. Um, my words would slur, so I would be in the hospital. And when I tell you, I am so grateful right now that He has truly kept me. I'm telling you, He kept me through so much. I've been through so much, and I'm still standing. I'm still here, and I'm going to continue to do His will until He called me home. I say it all the time, and I'm going to continue to do it. We don't know the day, the hour, or the place that He's going to call us home. We all know that we are only here on earth temporarily. That's one reason too why I stay in my word. I want to start going on my when I come on my lives also to do some Bible study because we all need the word. And I've experienced, and I when I tell you I've experienced so much, and I wish my mom was here today to sit next to me today because my mom was a blessing in my life. My mom was, when I tell you, she was my ride or die, that lady, she stood by me through everything. Um, and she was there with me when I first got my HIV diagnosis. She was there for me all the way up until she passed away. My mom, so if people are just on now, in 2020 when COVID came out, um, I developed COVID in 2020. Not only COVID, I had HIV, COPD, asthma, and double pneumonia. And God still spared my life. And I'm so grateful. That's why I don't take my life for granted. None of us should take our life for granted. When I tell you it was so hard getting through that, I was in ICU. Um, it was so hard getting through that. And I'm trying to hold back tears now because it's so emotional to talk about because He pulled me through. But in 2020, the month later, in November, this was in October 2020, in November of 2020, my mom passed away from COVID. And I'm really getting emotional now because it's not one day that I don't think about my mother. My mom fought to the very end, and they had to put her in induced coma. And it's not one day that I don't think about that lady. When I tell you my mom was so strong, she was a fighter. All the things that my mom went through. If I can listen, it will have to take longer than this live for you to tell you about my mom and all the things that she went through. But my mom was so strong. My mom was so strong, and she was just an amazing woman. She was definitely amazing. And my mom was there for me the whole entire time. Um, the whole entire time I've been sick, my mom was there. I had pneumonia, double pneumonia, so many times. My mom was there. She stayed in that hospital room with me. She stayed the night with me. She never left my side. And for my mom to pass away by herself, yeah, my mom was very soft spoken. I'm sorry, but my mom, oh, hopefully you can hear me better. I know my volume was probably down. I didn't know that. But my mom was very soft spoken too. It's crazy because my dad was too. My dad was even more soft spoken than I was. Like, I don't know. And people say they can't hear me or I'm talking too low. But I don't know, it's in genetics. I try to yell, it feel like I'm yelling, but people are like, no, I can't hear you. Even when I'm at work, I work for a call center, taking calls for specialty offices at one of the hospitals here, and people be like, you're talking low, but it feels like I'm yelling. Um, and my aunt, sorry guys, my aunt is trying to get on my YouTube page. That is so funny. My aunt just messaged me. She's like, I can't find your YouTube page because she haven't been on YouTube, but she's been on my Facebook and TikTok. She follows me. Um, but I do have amazing aunts who has stepped in a gap of my mom. Of you know, of they can never take the place of my mom, but they have definitely stepped in the gap of being here since my mom, is not here. So I am truly blessed about that. And I have family members who are very, very, very overprotective of me. Um, they do not, when I, this is a whole nother live. I have to tell you guys a whole nother live about my relationship with my husband and everything. A whole nother live. But yeah, I just had to come on. I wanted to come on because not only did I want to talk about, thank you, not only did I want to talk about um, my HIV story, but also about HIV PrEP. But that's one thing that I wanted to talk about today. But like I said, on my next live, I'm definitely going to show you guys the kit, how you can get it from the pharmacy. You can also get it from Amazon. And because I'm already positive, but I just want to show you how it works, because I know some people say, I know, when COVID was here, some people were saying how some of the COVID tests wasn't right. There could be some faulty tests out, but um, I just want you to see. I want to show you how it works. I can't find your cash tag. What's your cash tag? I want to give you some. Oh, okay. I would have to post it up there. Thank you for joining. Cleopatra, listen, this lady, and I have to shout her out because this lady is always on my lives. She's always messaging me. She's always giving me encouragement. She is absolutely amazing. So I do want to shout you out. I want to shout everybody out, but definitely she's a true blessing. God put certain people in your lives for a reason. And I was not going to start my page back up, but God told me that I had to. And so I'm only doing the will of God. I'm only doing what He's telling me to do. And so since she has been following me, she has been absolutely amazing. Because I did one of my videos because I was wearing a lot of weave, and you can't see it now, but like my daughter, she literally just did my twist on Saturday. But I have like some bald spots in my head from the weaves that I was wearing, and even like you can see like my edges came out and things like that. Like my edges came out. I'm trying to grow my edges back. And my daughter was like, you just need to keep the weave out of your hair. Let me do these twists in your hair, and so we can grow your hair back. Because I know someone else was saying you just need to cut it all off and start all over again. I did that before, and I was just tired of, when my hair started growing back, I was tired of like doing stuff to my hair. So I started wearing the braids and the twist, and it was bringing my hair out even more, and it was putting it was putting more bald spots in my head. So my daughter was like, no. I'm not putting no more weave in your hair. We're gonna do these twists and that's it. So, so I'm wearing a twist and I absolutely love it. I absolutely love my hair. Like, listen, I already thought I was beautiful then with my weave, and I know I'm beautiful now with my natural hair. Like I was saying earlier, nobody, you can't tell me that I'm not beautiful. And it's not that I'm definitely not being conceited, because God definitely don't want you to be, conceited, but He do want you to see yourself as He sees you. And I definitely see myself the way that God sees me. I definitely do. Um, it took me a long time to get here. Thank you so much. It took me a long time to get here. When I tell you, I did not love me at all. I didn't love my complexion. Thanks, Tamisha. You so sweet. Are you taking a lot of meds sometimes? Yes. So I'm on HIV meds, and I'm on blood pressure medication. Um, so those are the only two medications that I really take. And I know a lot of times, like the HIV medications, it do make you gain weight around certain areas. So that's why, like my stomach, like I'm gonna show you guys. Like I said, I am not ashamed of me, but like my stomach, it's bigger right here, and it it's been like that for a while. At first, it wasn't that big. I started gaining a lot of weight when I was on. Sorry, I'm sitting on my balcony and sweating, but I live in an apartment and you can't just go outside and sit. So I'm enjoying the air. Antidepressants, yes. So I was on antidepressants. I recently just got off of antidepressants probably about 5 months ago. So I know it takes some time for that to get out of your system. I'm also on, and that's why I'm changing my diet too, because a lot of the medications that I'm on, I want to get off of. And I know some people probably heard of gabapentin. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, which is an inflammatory, I want to say disease, I want to call it. So I have inflammation through my body at times, and so they have me on gabapentin. Um, like I said, this is my community, so I can be transparent. I can be open to you because this can help someone else. So I'm on gabapentin, pregabalin, not gabapentin, pregabalin, for fibromyalgia, um, and I take tiazidine, which is a muscle relaxer. I take periodically because I have sciatica really bad. That's why I'm in the gym working out. I changed my diet, completely changed my diet, and I'm working on getting better with that. I'm juicing and eating my fruits and vegetables, and I completely cut meat out of my diet. So now I'm eating beans for protein. So I'm doing more research on what other things I can substitute for protein. So I'm doing that too. But yeah, my hair really started falling out. And one thing I am going to do is try to make my own hair growth oil. I want to see how it comes out. I want to try it on me and definitely see if it's going to work. I have been doing research on herbal herbal supplements and things like that, natural plants and things like that that can definitely grow your hair. So I'm looking into doing that, um, and so I'm going to be working on doing that very soon. With my job, I'm telling you, work is working. That's all I can say. So um, I don't really have enough time to myself to try to do too much. But I have been. I said I'm gonna dedicate my time more to be on my social media so I can continue to tell my stories and help people out. And definitely your listen, everyone who is giving me suggestions and things like that, it's definitely helping me out too. Believe me, because things that I have done before that a lot of my followers have told me I have tried has worked out for me. So believe me, everything that you're saying, your messages that I read and I comment back, and I really do work on trying to make sure that I listen to my followers, especially if I've seen that I've done the research on it, because I listen and I make sure that I do the research to make sure that I'm not doing anything to harm me. But I do take every single message into consideration. Next time I get in a relationship, the guy will need to get tested. I need to see the medical profile. I share my medical and physical to my last partner every year when I would take a physical. Yes. Yep, you have to, Cleopatra. You literally have to. Um, I'm telling you, that's the only way that you're going to save your life, and that's the only way you're going to be safe, is if you make sure that you have your partner tested. Now, the thing is, I want to say, when you talk about it with you asking your partner to be tested, even though you know that you're good, y'all get tested together. Like I just said it before you came on my live, they have kits now. They have HIV kits as well, and not just HIV. There are other um, STDs and STIs that's out here um, that you can contract that you don't want to contract. You just don't. I mean, I know that if there are younger people who are looking to have families, there is chlamydia, there is syphilis, and gonorrhea that can have you sterile, where you cannot have children if it goes untreated. So not just HIV, but there are other STDs and, like I said, STIs that can keep you from having children if you do not um, if you don't treat it. So yes, I do talk about HIV a lot because I'm HIV positive, but I do know a lot of other things about other STDs and STIs because they teach you those things. UTI strips at the Dollar Tree. Oh wow, I didn't know they had UTI strips at the Dollar Tree. Yeah, so everybody, they have UTI strips at the Dollar Tree. I did not know that. I was one who got UTIs very, very often. Um, and it wasn't because I wasn't wiping myself correctly. It was because of some of the medications that I was taking that I kept contracting UTIs over and over and over again. OMG, it was just crazy. And you can contract UTIs too from not drinking enough water. So I know some people are against drinking water. If you want to put um, some type of flavor in your water to drink water, do it, find some way to put water into your body so that you can prevent those things from happening, because UTIs can turn into kidney infections, which I've had before and was in the hospital. And if you have a UTI, I mean a kidney infection that's really bad, where you have blood in your urine and it goes into your system, to your bloodstream, that can be very fatal, which has almost happened to me. And I was hospitalized and put on IV antibiotics. So that's why I make sure I drink enough water, especially with your medications. Anybody that's on any type of medications or taking vitamins need to be drinking plenty of water, because you want to make sure that that medication is absorbing into your system, and you want to make sure that medications can also cause kidney stones. Listen, I could have been a doctor. I've had so many things go wrong with me. I've also had kidney stones before. Certain medications that you take can also turn into kidney stones if you're not drinking enough water. So I cannot stress that enough. Thank you for bringing that up, Cleopatra, about the UTI strips at the Dollar Tree. Um, Yes, so all of those things definitely. Um, we just have to. I'm telling you, we just have to be advocates for each other. God put us all on earth to help each other. That's why He bring community together. And I never really understood that until I started doing. Well, now I'm not going to say until I started doing my videos. I never really thought about community until I had my children. Have you contracted a bacteria infection? Yes, I have. Okay, here's another one. I have. I had bacterial meningitis. I had that back in 2010. I almost passed away from that. Not only did I have bacterial meningitis, I also had HIV, which could have taken me out. That's why I said I know that God has a calling on my life. I know that God has me here for a reason. And I know that reason was for me to even be to this point, to be able to tell people about my story and to help so many people. We know that the world that we live in, people are being so careless with their lives. And I'm just speaking it. Some people won't speak it, some people won't say it. There are so many people being careless with their lives. And that is the honest to God truth. And I can say I was careless with my life when I contracted HIV because I trusted somebody who I contracted HIV from. It's not that I was out sleeping with multiple partners, because that was not the case. But I was being careless because I should have protected myself until we um, decided to get tested. Would I ever thought about that? I'm saying it now, but I would have never thought about getting tested because nobody ever talked to me about it. Um, I remember, well, I'm not going to say, one time I was in high school. It was a lady. This was years ago. I've been out of high school 26 years this year. So I've been out of high school for 26 years. Um, and I remember, I think I had to be in 10th or 11th grade. It was a lady came to my high school, talked about HIV, and she stated that she was HIV positive. I remember being one of those teenagers sitting in our auditorium and saying that that had never happened to me. Because back then, I knew that the young lady that I was not having sex at the time. I knew that I was going to save myself to be married. I was going to church faithfully. I was in my word. I had a strict grandmother. All of those things. Hello, um, Drinda. Drinda, hello, how are you? So I was, thank you for coming in. So I had all of those things, right? So I sat there and I'm like, that'll never be me. Said it just like that. Here I am 25 years later telling my HIV story because I trusted someone with my life. Like I said, I trusted someone with my life um, that I thought was a fairy tale. And I remember telling myself, and I told God, I said, this is too good to be true. I said, God, this is too good to be true. This guy is faithful. He listens to me. He loves on me. At the time, I had a daughter who was 2.5 years old. He had a daughter who was 1.5 years old. So, we had a daughter a year apart from each other. Um, he saw me, and I told God, I said, this is too good to be true. Never once did I think that he had HIV. It never crossed my mind. Never once did I think that he had any type of sexually transmitted disease. It never crossed my mind. But here I am telling my story because I don't want anyone to go through the things that I went through. If I can get so many people to listen to my story, and I know that people now are telling their HIV stories and things like that. Like I said, 3 years ago when God told me to do it, I tried to do it. And people were going, when I tell you, messages left and right that was negative and that was saying things to the point where I was literally crying. I told God I couldn't do it. I didn't do it up until this year. This was 2021 when I started. And after that time, I didn't do it again. I refused. But God told me, He was like, no. He said, this is your time. This is your story, that you have to do it. You have to save my people from their destruction. And I say from their destruction because some of us have done things to be in destruction. Some of us, and we all can be honest with ourselves. I can be honest with myself. I can be honest with myself now. Like I did things. Listen. My first daughter, I had her when I was 20 years old. Well, no, let me go back. When I was 18 years old, my first daughter. I lost her when I was almost 6 months pregnant. Didn't do anything wrong. Things just happened and she didn't survive. So I lost her when I was almost 6 months pregnant. Was that being destructive? Yes, because I was young, um, using unprotected sex with her father and got pregnant. And then the second time, I got pregnant with triplets and lost them, still by the same guy, lost them. Um, then the third time, got pregnant by him again. And thank you, last days. Then the third time, got pregnant by him again. And this time, my oldest daughter, she was a twin. I miscarried early, and she was born. Then had my youngest daughter um, with my husband, but we wasn't married at the time. But had my youngest daughter with her dad and contracted HIV. But even though I was with my oldest daughter father, still he was still cheating, and that's why things didn't work out. He was still cheating and things like that. So that's why things didn't work out. But so um, but I could have contracted something, right? So yes, we have destructive. That was a destructive life. You stand with someone knowing that they're cheating, and yet you still being with that person, not knowing the outcome. But then what happened? I contracted it. You are a strong woman. I thank God for you. Did your ex-husband know he was positive? Job Corps and Salvation Army are the places to get help. They are the last alternative for people seeking help. Yes, yep. He knew before. He knew that he was positive, and he admitted it. That you know, he admitted it once. I asked him 3 times. When I found out I was positive, I was heated. I was, I know people probably can't see me being upset because I'm so calm, but I was angry. I was angry. And I told him, I was like, I just came back from the clinic, found out I was HIV positive. His first thing was, he probably was scared to tell you because of the stigma. I understand that. Everybody is not the same. But if I knew that and we were young at the time, like I was 23 and he was 24. We were young at the time. Thank you so much. We were young. But even the person that I was, I think it's because of the way that I was raised, I would have immediately told the person that I was talking to that I did have HIV. Like I said, they didn't have PrEP back then in the early 2000s. PrEP didn't come out until 2016. So they did not have PrEP back then. And if I was talking to someone, I definitely would have told them, that I had HIV. I wouldn't have kept it, regardless of how I felt about that person. If they did not want to talk to me anymore, I know that God would have brought the right person, the right man in my life who was meant for me. That's just how I saw it. And for you to not tell women about your status because you're afraid. Men is different because of the lustful desire. You are absolutely right. And that's exactly what he said. He said that his hormones and his feelings got the best of him. That's exactly what he said. But I still me, I I still don't think that's an excuse. I just don't. I don't know. I just don't. And men are very different. You are absolutely right. Men are very, most men, I'm not going to say all, but like you said, most men are very different because they think with their head between their legs, right? They think with their head between their legs and not on top of their head. And they think lustfully, like you said, Cleopatra. They think lustfully and not I don't know. I'm trying to think of the word. But yeah, that's how most men think. I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not putting all men in the category, but most men, yes, are definitely like that. And there are some women like that too. I'm not going to just put blast them in. There are some women definitely like that who are out here just sleeping around. There are women out here who has HIV and that's giving it to men. Now, people say it is hard for a man to contract HIV from a woman, but it's still possible. Women can still give HIV to men. It's happening. We see it happening. And it's unfair that some men are caught up in this because of decisions that a woman make because they're afraid to tell their partners, right? They're afraid to tell the people that the men that they're sleeping with. I don't know. I just think it's unfair, and I just think it's sad that that some people can't be honest because they're afraid of being rejected. I believe that's what it is. A lot of people are afraid of being rejected. But you just have to listen. Do you go to support groups? So I used to go to support groups. Where I live at now, they don't have support groups. But I'm still involved in a lot of stuff with HIV. Just don't have the support groups. And I still have mentors who have been positive 40 plus years who I confide in about everything. And yeah. So there are not support groups like there used to be. I do, and I told myself I do want to start an online support group for people who has HIV because there are not a lot of support groups out here. Because as you know, I hear people are not truthful because they don't want to die alone. Okay, this is my thought on it. So I just had a message saying I hear people are not truthful because they don't want to die alone. So this is my thing on it. If you truly love yourself enough and see yourself the way God sees you, the right person would definitely come into your life. When I tell you, I know so many people who has HIV and their partners are negative. So many people. I believe that's something that they have to deal with in themselves. And some people don't want to wait because everything is patience. God didn't make the earth in he made the earth in 7 days. He didn't make the earth in 1 day. So everything is patience. And we just have to Be mindful of that. Everything is patience. Um, and I think the only way somebody would die alone is if that's the way they feel. Because I know, listen, God already told me that He would bless me with the right man. He already told me. And it's just, being patient. Just being patient. And I'm grateful um, for God's love. Started support group there. Yes, started support. You know what? I have to look, and I really have to look into it and see how I can do it, and where I can have it held at. There are so many, with all the Trump administration stuff, um, so many things are being cut because with my clinic, we were, I'm in this, I'm on a council, I'm on the HIV/AIDS council committee, and there are so many funding being cut with HIV, and it's so sad. So much funding being cut with HIV. Um, but I'm trusting and I believe in God that things will definitely turn around. I'm gonna continue to have faith because that's the only thing I know how to do. It says it in His Word. It says it in His Word. We have to have faith as small as a mustard seed. As small as a mustard seed. I have not been able to talk all day, but yeah. But that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to come on in this. I wanted to come on this. Wanted to come on this live and talk about that today. If you were to start an online support group, I would definitely attend. Thank you so much. Um, thank you so much. But I'm definitely gonna look into that. God, you know what? I have been thinking about doing that. I've been thinking about it for a while, and I know that it's so many people out here who are afraid to actually tell their story, and who's afraid to be noticed because of their status. And I know it's needed. I definitely know it's needed because we all need that support. Yes, I'm strong. That's only because I've had strong mentors throughout the years in my life to get me to this point. And because I have the family that I have that truly loves me and, listen, would go tooth and nail for anybody about me. And friends that's like that. Now, I've lost friends along the way, some friends along the way, because when I told them that I was positive, they didn't want to be my friends anymore. I had one friend that was supposed to be my friend, um, used the bathroom, immediately went down and disinfected everything. I had one friend who didn't want me to sit on her sofa. Um, yeah, I've been through it all. I've been through it all. But, I'm still here. God still sees me. And I'm going to continue to do His will. I'm going to um, continue to do His will. Like I'm so proud of myself. It will be coming out soon. Actually, 2 books that I've been working on for a while. So they will be coming out soon. One I just finished on self-love. That will be coming out on Amazon soon. And then one, HIV to God. That one will be coming out soon as well. Um, and that's about my life story, everything that I went through, a lot of things that I have not told anyone about, is in this book. My journey, even during my pregnancy, um, everything that led up to my pregnancy, everything that I went through with childbirth, my daughter after she was born, all of this is in my book, HIV to God. So that will be coming out soon, and I'm going to keep you guys updated on when that book is going to come out. But my self-love book is coming out soon. I'm just finishing up the editing on that, and then I'm finishing up working on my book. I'm almost done with my last chapter in my book on HIV to God, on how I truly found God during my journey of having HIV. So that book will be coming out soon as well. So yeah, so it's almost 9 o'clock. Time for me to get ready to go to bed. I have to be up at 5 a.m. for work. So I really thank everyone for joining. For the ones who just joined today, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel, to follow my journey, and yeah, to follow me again. I will be back on live. I said that I was going to definitely do it on Monday evenings. I'm really going to be consistent to doing it on Monday evenings at 7:30, and I'm also looking to do it on Wednesday or Thursday evenings at around the same time, because I get in from work at like 5, and once I wind down it's about 7 or 7:30. So I want to give people enough time. Oh, okay, I will. Thank you, Cleopatra. I forgot, but I will. Um, but I just want to just be a blessing to others and continue to, you know, to help, even if it's one person, just to help one person. But I pray everybody have a blessed night. I will see you again on Wednesday evening at 7:30. So I see you again on Wednesday at 7:30. Um, if it's not too hot, I will be here on my balcony enjoying this weather and the scenery. If not, I'll be in my apartment. But everybody have a blessed night.